What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Thursday night. Well, it's Thursday night here in Ireland anyway. I am Craig. This is the Late Night Agenda. You are all very welcome along to the Anfield Agenda channel. I hope you're all keeping well. Lots of stuff for us to get through on tonight's show. I know I say that a lot, but I tell you what, there really is a lot of stuff to get through on tonight's show. We've got the fixtures that came out today, of course. We've got the Fekir stuff. We've got some stuff. Loads of stuff. Lots of transfer gossip. A few other bits and pieces as well. First and foremost, though, I hope you're all having a lovely day. I hope things are going well in your lives. I know a lot of people watching have been sitting exams and stuff at the minute. I hope that's gone well for you all. My own daughter has one more exam to go on Monday, and then she's finished her junior cert, so I'm very proud of her, obviously. But look, how are we? I hope you're all keeping well. Great to see so many people in the chat already. How are you? Press, how are you, buddy? Harvey, how are you? Paul, lots of people in as well. I see we had a young 8-year-old gentleman in the chat as well, so I should where is he gone? Where is this gentleman gone? See, sometimes I do sit here, ladies and gents, I do read your comments before I start when I'm setting up. Dayan Khan is 8 years of age, I believe, from the chat. So, mate, I want to just take a second to point out that, as somebody else has, we do use a lot of bad language on the stream. It's not my job to parent people on here, but when I know that there is somebody of that age watching, I feel like it's only right for me to start off the stream by saying, look, we use a lot of bad language on here. Some things that some parents might not deem suitable for their kids. That's all I can say. We use language and we'll push on. Right, how are we, ladies and gents? What do we want to start off talking about? Aziz is in. How are you, my friend? I want to say, actually, congratulations to my wife because she passed the €550 mark on her Everyday Hero thing. So that's brilliant. We've sent the money from Anfield Agenda that we received for the advertising revenue and super chats and stuff, and she has smashed her target, and thank you. I'm not going to keep going on about it, but thank you guys for that one. 6 times, said Joshua. 6 times. Look, let's start off with what? It's up to you. It's your show, as I always say, ladies and gents. You let me know what you want to talk about and we'll go from there. Philip Lindsay said the Fekir. The Fekir rumours are fake news. Thanks, Phil. What do you think our highest win will be next year? Do you know what? Normally I would say that's a silly question, but it probably isn't because it's fun. I think another 7, mate. Another 7-0. Boom, Diamond Bullet. 7 goal win. We had a couple in the Champions League. We scored 7, I think, against Spartak and maybe somebody else that season. Craig, I'll only be until 10 p.m. So, can we start with Fekir? Mossy, your wish is my command. Let's start. And I want your input on this as always, ladies and gentlemen, because it's your show. But I'll give you the little bit of news that I have with a few rumours that I've seen around Nabil Fekir today, and we'll go from there. So Liverpool have apparently revived their interest in Lyon star Nabil Fekir. The Reds pulled out of a £53 million deal for the France international last summer and will not offer the same fee given that Fekir has only got 1 year remaining on his contract. Now that comes in from Le Progrès. I don't know if that's a French channel or what it is, but however, I want to balance this out by saying that the Independent have said that the Reds have no intention of reviving their interest in the Lyon striker. Now, what do we believe here, ladies and gents? I see, as I said, Philip earlier on said that he doesn't think Liverpool are in for Nabil Fekir. I just don't believe that there is. I've said this time and time again, but I don't believe this friendly with Lyon is a coincidence. Now, I don't know if it's Fekir related. I don't know. I'd seen that Spurs have gone in for, is it Ndombele from Lyon? So it may not be him we're after. There's OR, there's Memphis Depay, there's the other Dembele. There's so much for us to get through on this one. I don't know whether it's blind love for Fekir or the idea of Fekir coming to Liverpool, but I just can't shake that there might be something to this. I just can't shake it. Even though I've seen really good people like the journal that came out in the Independent and said it's not happening. I don't know. I just don't know, ladies and gents. You went through a fairly injury-free season with Lyon. I think I could be blinded by hope on this one. Do you know that? I could be just blinded by hope. But this is what the transfer window does. This is what it does sometimes. Brian said it's a French football magazine. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that one. Lewis, the Coutinho question, I must answer that twice every night, my friend. And because maybe you haven't heard it, buddy, of course we'll give you an answer because I appreciate you taking the time to write. Yes, but for a very, very, very reduced fee than the one that we sold them for. Do you know Eden Hazard at Real Madrid? Yes, I've seen them. They're doing the unveiling there today. Quite a few people in, to be fair, for Hazard at Madrid. It's a good move for the Premier League because it weakens Chelsea. There you go. I've never been a massive fan of Eden Hazard, but you do have to respect that the guy can be a top talent on his day. Boya's in as well. How are you, Boya? Right, let's get to the Fekir stuff. What have we got? I'll get to the fixtures, ladies and gents, don't worry, but people wanted to start on Fekir, so let's go on it. Steve Cook said, I'm seeing loads of rumours on players and then articles denying them. I'm worried we're not going to get the job done this window. We'll get something done, Steve. Presman, I said, Fekir BS news. On Steve, on what you're saying, mate, I've seen a lot of people question the same thing, worry that maybe we're not going to push on this window, worried that we won't strengthen. I don't know for certain what will or will not happen, but what I will say is Jurgen Klopp, Michael Edwards, Barry Hunter and the team are not fools. They know what needs to be strengthened. They will have been working on targets for quite a while, and we will get people in. It probably won't be anywhere near the type of window that we had last year, but you know what, we don't need the type of window that we had last year. We need a couple of players in. I've seen a couple of you chatting beforehand, and I think somebody said that we won't be bringing in an attacker. I've got to be honest, and I'm not sure if that has been said by Jurgen Klopp or not. Somebody mentioned Brewster not wanting to block the pathway through. I get that, but we do need another attacker. We really do. Whether it's an attacking midfielder, a wide forward, a centre forward, whatever it is, I fully believe if we don't get an attacker in this window, look at the fullback situation. If Adam Lewis gets promoted, sound. If not, then we go and buy somebody. The Dejan Lovren thing, that might take care of itself. Depends what happens there. But for me, the attacker thing, I can't shake that off in this window. We have to strengthen going forward. Javino said, hi Craig, mate, love the show. Really appreciate that, Javino. Thank you so much, mate. And keep the comments coming, buddy. Klopp always gets his man, said Matt Colwell. He does. He absolutely does. And maybe I'm being very optimistic here, but wouldn't it be the most Michael Edwards thing ever if he pulled out a £53 million deal last summer, won the Champions League, got 97 points in the league, which albeit didn't win us the Premier League, but still an impressive tally, and then went and got the player at a reduced fee the next year, and that bumped us up another bit. That would be very Michael Edwardsy. And we do hold Michael Edwards to very high esteem, don't we? Willow's in as well. Wendy, how are you? See, I called you Wendy there. That was very nice of me, wasn't it? Usually just stick with Willow and Wendy on Twitter. Brian Morris, he said €30 million is apparently the figure being bandied around for Nabil Fekir, and that makes sense to me, mate. That's about what? Somewhere between 22 and £25 million, depending on transfer or depending on exchange rates, but that's about fair. I think that's about right for a player who's in the last year of his contract. Ben Freeman said, Craig, we're getting him. I'm with you, Ben. I hope so, mate. I really hope so. I really hope we're getting him. I have to say, I've been looking forward to tonight's show all day today. I haven't been having a great day. And I've been looking forward to this one. I haven't been having a great day. Sorry. I don't mean that to sound anything like a mental health issue or anything like that. No, just really busy today. I have a headache, and coming on here to chat to you guys is the highlight of my day, outside of my family, of course. Can we ring Jurgen and ask him if he's in for Fekir? It's getting to that stage, Adam, mate, isn't it? Where he's got, look, Jurgen, what's the story here? Don't care, you can keep your secrets, mate. I understand things have to be under wrap, but on Fekir, mate, yes or no? Even James Pearce on Twitter was getting involved today in a little bit of banter with the gentleman from The Independent that wrote the story, saying we've no interest in him. James Pearce messed with him, just quote tweeted him saying announce Fekir, which was brilliant, and I love that from James Pearce. And then of course that opened up a tidal wave for people asking James Pearce, what's going on, James? What's going on? Are we signing him? Who are we signing? Why aren't we signing anybody? And some people are actually starting to lose their minds on social media. Some people are going nuts that we haven't signed anybody yet, but not many people have done much business in the Premier League in the window. Crosby Red is in as well. How are you, my friend? Craig, I think Arsenal are in big trouble even to get into top 6, said Anthony Cronin. It's weird. The situation at Arsenal is weird because they brought in the new manager who's very capable in what he's doing. He's a decent manager, but yet they don't seem to really back him. Now, I know they didn't get Champions League, so that probably will have affected what he can do in the transfer window, but Arsenal fans that I've been speaking to don't seem to be that optimistic that Unai Emery is going to get backed massively by Stan Kroenke there in the Arsenal board. And look, it's not really our place to say, but they need midfielders, they need defenders. They're after letting go of a couple of players as well. There's talk of Mesut Ozil perhaps moving on. Aaron Ramsey's moved on. They're letting go of Danny Welbeck, although how much of a help Danny Welbeck has been to them over the couple of years he's been there, I'm not sure. Liverpool legend reckons Arsenal should get 4th. Dave LFC Chats is in. How are you, buddy? And of course I always say to people about going over and subscribing to Boya. Well, the same as with Dave. Dave, what have we called ourselves there? What have we called you, Dave, again? It's the Salvador Dali, isn't it, of LFC content, I believe Dave christened himself. Dave, always a bit of fun, so do go and check out Dave's account as well. Subscribe to him. Thoughts on the fixtures, us kicking off the 19-20 season. Right, I've got the fixtures open here in front of me, so I'm not sure if everybody's aware of the fixtures, so I'll just run through them. August, we start off on a Friday night at 8 p.m. against Norwich at home. Just proving that those leaked fixtures were bullshit, just like we were saying yesterday. It happens every year. Fixtures get leaked and people believe it. Yeah, so it was supposed to be Burnley this year, but it isn't. It's Norwich. And then in August, we have Southampton away, Arsenal at home, and Burnley away. September, then, we've got Newcastle at home, Chelsea away, Sheffield United away. I'll just pick through the big ones then. October's a difficult month, to be fair. Obviously, we've got Leicester at home, United away, and Spurs away. It's going to be a difficult month, that October. Just looking through here, trying to find the big fixtures. Everton at home in December. Well, we know what happened last December when we played Everton at home. What else have we got there? In December, Wolves at home, nothing major. Leicester away as well, which would be a difficult game. Leicester away on the 26th. Of course it's the 26th. Myself and Connor hoping to get over, visit Boya and go to Leicester away. And of course that game is down for St. Stephen's Day or Boxing Day, just to make it extra awkward for us to get to. January then is a difficult month, and we know December is going to be busy already with the World Club Cup. Well, we've got 6 Premier League fixtures crammed into December. Everton at home, Bournemouth away, Watford at home, West Ham away, Leicester away, and Wolves at home. Then we move into January, Spurs away, United at home, Wolves away, another difficult month. Just picking through the big fixtures here. We end the season quite difficultly, by the way, or in a difficult place. Manchester City away in April. Just when the Champions League is ramping up as well. More fixed. To finish the season then in May, we've got 3 difficult games. Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, and Newcastle away. So look, I'm somebody that doesn't really pay much attention to when we play teams or give a shit about it, because everybody plays everybody twice in the Premier League and it evens itself out over the course of the season. I don't know, maybe sometimes it's better to get people early, sometimes better later on in the season, but for me, I don't really look at these too much, ladies and gents. I don't pay too much heed to when we're playing teams and when we aren't, because, as I said, we play everybody twice. But what do you think? Happy enough with the start of the season? Obviously, we've got good memories of playing Norwich. And I read somewhere before as well that the last time we played Norwich on the opening day of the season, I think we won 1-0 and we went on to win the league, and Manchester City came second. Which, if you want to take these things into account, by all means do. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love anything that points towards us doing well. I'm all over it. I'm not a superstitious person, but why not? It's a bit of fun, isn't it? The fixtures, we're going to win the league. Fuck the fixtures, Stevie Richards said we're going to win the league. I'm with you, mate. Doesn't matter. We'll win the league anyway. We'll beat everyone. Doesn't matter. We'll take maximum points throughout the entire season. No, we won't really, but look, it is what it is, ladies and gents. I'm sure you've gone through the fixtures yourself. Some of them will be moved, of course, when it comes to cup games and stuff like that. So if you're booking flights or you're looking to book hotels or anything like that, do keep in mind whether it's a weekend perhaps where a cup fixture could be, or whether it be moved for television purposes and stuff like that. Always bear that in mind if you're travelling to games. O-Dog said, I just read an article from The Independent saying Liverpool aren't trying to sign Fekir. Yeah, spoke about that a little bit earlier on, buddy. What do you think about Liverpool versus Everton being on Amazon Prime? Yeah, we touched on this a little bit, Press Mane, last night, mate. All the Boxing Day fixtures are on Amazon Prime, and there's a couple of other fixtures as well that are on Amazon Prime. I know the cost of Amazon Prime itself isn't huge, but it is a pain in the arse for football fans that, let's say in the UK and Ireland, because I can't speak from other countries because I don't know what way the packages are done, but I do know about the UK and Ireland, and for us we have to pay for Sky, we have to pay for BT, and now we're having to pay for Amazon Prime as well, even if it is just for a few months. Not great at all. It's more money out of fans' pockets, it's more barriers between people watching football and not. I just wanted to get to a point where every single Premier League game is available on television. Even if you buy a season ticket for your own club, I don't care. It just has to get to that point. This is a pain in the arse for us all. Like 3 different subscriptions now to watch football on one league. 3 different subscriptions. And Sky and the likes of them can keep trying to play it up as much as they want and say how great it is. But at the end of the day, Sky have lost Champions League football to BT. They've lost the Europa League. Actually, I can't even remember if they had the Europa League. But they've lost all European football to BT. And they're trying to replace it with stuff like fucking netball. That, let's be honest, with all due respect to netball, nobody gives a fuck about netball, really. Or very few people, I should say. It's not going to replace. Like, they keep putting their prices up. I'm sure you're the same. Every single year, BT Sky prices going up. The amount of content you're getting going down, but yet they're trying to convince you you're getting more games. But you're getting games you really couldn't give a shit about. All we want to do as Liverpool fans is watch 38 Premier League games featuring Liverpool, and maybe the best of the rest as well. And we need to get to a point where we can do that. And put more barriers up between people and football will lead to one thing and one thing only. And that is probably people, I don't really want to say because I don't want to get in trouble, but you know where I'm going with this. People will find alternative means to watch the football. That's probably what's going to happen. Paul Turner said, I remember that, Craig. It was the 76-77 season after we won the European Cup. 105 points next season, said Crosby Red. Hey, everyone's been busy this week. Just had 15 hours sleep. Jamie, get some sleep, mate. Relax. Sleep is very important for your health. Could we see an Origi masterclass in December? Maybe. Why not? Just lob it up in the air and let Pickford do the rest. City's run is pretty sweet, though. All small clubs, or the run in, said Brian, is pretty sweet. Yeah, but hopefully, mate, hopefully we've got the league wrapped up by then. I feel like with City, we know that there could be a potential Champions League ban coming for them. Now, that won't be this season, most likely. They'll appeal that, and if the ban does come true, it'll probably be next season. So they'll be under massive pressure this year to try and go and win the Champions League, and I think that might help us just nip in there and win the Premier League. They might take their eye off the ball a little bit. What do you guys think on the fixture? Anything stand out for you guys? Liverpool versus Norwich, a Friday night game. Yes, it is, mate. Opening night of the season. And I'd seen that some Chelsea fans were really unhappy about this because Liverpool get to play Norwich on a Friday and then have 5 days until the European Super Cup against Chelsea on the Wednesday, whereas I think Chelsea have 3 days to recover. And there's some people on social media going into meltdown saying that everything is set up so Liverpool can succeed. The Premier League want Liverpool to win, the television companies want Liverpool to win, everybody's behind Liverpool, woe is us. Seriously, fuck off with all this nonsense. What happens. There's going to be fixtures in the season that work out better for other teams and worse for us. And there's going to be times in the year where the run might look a little bit better for us and we might have some more rest. But over the course of the season, everything balances itself out. I mean, I don't understand the fume for fume's sake at times. And if this was the other way around, that Chelsea had 5 days rest and Liverpool had 3 days rest ahead of the European Super Cup, I probably still wouldn't give a fuck because it's the European Super Cup. Do you know what I mean? It's not the Champions League final here. We're talking about a competition that, yeah, it's nice to win a trophy. Of course it is, but it's not the be all and end all. It's just a trophy. It's another little trophy that we probably won't count as a real trophy. Well, you've got the World Club Cup to look forward to, as of course I hope the Reds win because we've never won that before. Exactly, Craig. And they wonder why folk watch and stream it all illegally. Yeah, as I said before, my subscription for Sky is around €144 a month, something like that. That includes my phone and broadband. Then I have €32 a month for BT on top of that for my football, and now an Amazon Prime on top of that as well. And then the likes of BT are now starting to stick UFC on pay-per-view, and boxing fights, more and more of them are going on pay-per-view as well. I mean, who the fuck wants to pay pay-per-view to watch Dillian White fight? Who? Honestly, unless he's fighting Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, and I like Dillian Wilder, but again, it's just another barrier up, and they wonder why people are going to do what they're doing. Douglas James Horn said, Craig, Ryan Kent has rejected a move to Leeds on loan. We spoke about that last night, actually, mate. There's 3 clubs in from. Leeds are in from, of course, Aston Villa are in from, and then Middlesbrough are apparently in from, and he does want the permanent move or to stay and fight for his place at Liverpool, which, if I'm being blunt about this, I don't think Ryan Kent has a future at Liverpool. I don't think he's going to be quite at the level. And I understand his point that he just wants to put down roots and he wants to settle and start his career. He deserves that chance. Chelsea complaining we were going to beat them anyway, said Aiden. Look, yeah, it's one game. It's one game for a pumped up trophy. If we win it, great. If Chelsea win it, fair fucks to them. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I want Liverpool to win the Premier League. I want Liverpool to go far in the Champions League. And I wouldn't mind us treating the domestic cups a little bit better as well. The thing about the Friday night, by the way, that's crap. And Liverpool are at home here, so this isn't really affecting Liverpool fans too much. Norwich fans have to travel all the way back down to, is it East Anglia? Is that where Norwich is? All the way back down there on a Friday night with probably no trains running. or very limited public transport options to get back down to Norwich. And at times it's easy for us to just forget about this and not think of opposition fans. There was a couple of occasions in this season, I think Liverpool Southampton on a Friday night, and there was another Liverpool game on a Friday night that left Liverpool fans high and dry, trying to find a way back to Liverpool or whatever part of the country they were travelling from as well. So sometimes television companies need to take these things into account, and I like the idea of the Friday night game. It should be fun. Anfield under the lights to kick off the season sounds good to me, but you do have to take a minute to think about those travelling Norwich fans as well. Ribery to Sheffield United. Oh God, imagine. I hope Brendan Rodgers gets a good reception when he comes back to Anfield. I'd say he will, to be fair. I'd say he will. I think people will be respectful of the effort that he made in that 13-14 season. Chelsea can't replace Hazard. They have a ban. They have brought in what's his name though, Pulisic. They already brought him in. They also are looking at bringing, it looks like Bakayoko might actually come back to them from AC Milan, and they've a load of players out on loan as well, Chelsea, so they could almost have their own little mini window from their own players that they have out on loan. Elroy 420 reckons Liverpool will sign Memphis Depay and Nabil Fekir. I have a nice little segment actually on Pepe and Memphis Depay. Remind me to get back to it in a few minutes. There's a nice article that I pulled on that one that has some information. Are you going to watch the game? Which game, Saeed, mate? I'm not sure which game you're talking about. Super Cup is good if we win, but not crying if we don't, said Mickey Friars. Good evening, Sonny Goldie, as well. That's how I am as well, Mickey. Look, it's nice. It's always nice to see the Reds lift the trophy up their head, isn't it? Of course it is. But it's not the be-all and end-all. Do you know what I mean? It's just one game for one trophy. Do you think Mourinho's going back to Chelsea? No, I'd say Frank Lampard. It looks like Frank Lampard probably plays, unless I've missed something earlier on in the day. The only problem with Fekir is his motivation. Does he lack motivation? I don't know. I think having the chance to play for a club like Liverpool would certainly make him step up and appreciate where he is, but let's just wait and see what happens there. Let's sign Suarez as a backup for Origi. Yeah, no, I think we can move on from Luis Suarez. As great as he was when he was here, I think we can move on. Crosby Red said all Friday night games should be local derbies. There's something to that, yes. There definitely is something to that. Not having fans trekking from one side of the country across to the other when there's feck all public transport for them. So they're relying on coaches or driving, and some people just don't like to drive that distance. There's also the licence fee to consider too, said Joanne. Yes, of course there is. You're right, Joanne. I should mention that. You've got your television licence fee, and then your broadband for your internet and stuff, which you have to have as well if you want to watch on Amazon, because you can't not have the internet and watch on Amazon, so there's that cost as well. Dirty Girl said, are we buying Fekir because we owe him? Can't we just get Fernandes? And I don't know who the other person was because she didn't put it in. I don't know if we are buying Fekir, Dirty Girl, to be honest with you. The Fernandes thing, has anybody seen much on Fernandes lately? Because it's gone quiet for me. O-Dog said, I want the creative midfielder more than anything in this window. Craig, I'd still be crying if we lost the friendly match. Honestly, I'm not arsed. I had this conversation with Brian, and I had it with Connor as well around the Community Shield. They want to get one over Manchester City and win the game to put in a psychological blow, whereas I'm of the opinion that I don't think it'll really make a difference whoever wins that game with regards to what's going to happen in the Premier League. I'd rather we lost that game and beat them twice in the Premier League, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion on it. Like, of course, can understand and respect where they're coming from with regards to striking an early psychological blow at Manchester City. And with Manchester City as well, I know people might forget this or mightn't pay too much heed to it, but the loss of Vincent Kompany is going to be huge for Manchester City. He is their leader in the dressing room. He mightn't have played as many games as they might have wanted him to, but the loss of him being in and around the club could be massive to them going forward. Pranav said, RMC, the most reliable paper in France, just reporting that we want Fekir. I want Fekir, Pranav. I'm not going to lie. I've said this to Connor earlier on. If we sign Nabil Fekir, I'm getting his name on the back of a shirt and I'm getting those Champions League badges. I'm on standby to see if he signs. If I'm being really honest, as I said last night, I'm ready to be hurt again, ladies and gentlemen. We were hurt last summer with Nabil Fekir, and by God, I'm ready to be hurt again. As you can see, for those of you that can keep an eye on the L subscriber numbers there, we're 57 away from 17k. We're getting there, ladies and gents, bit by bit by bit. And if you're watching, I'd love to get there tonight. It's a big ask, but it's 57 away. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that button and let's get us to 17k and have a little bit of a 17k dance on here tonight. There'll be no man boobs out, I promise you that much. Stevie Richard said, Craig, I've cracked it. We just need to clone Origi. That's just too much. That's just too much penis for the earth, Stephen. We couldn't possibly do that. Imagine 2 Divock Origis. 24 inches of Originess. Not a chance. Let's bring in Moreno, serial winner. That has to be a piss take, Nageb. Honestly, Moreno, I don't even want to lose my rag on this one, but the last thing on earth I'd want now is for Jose Mourinho and his boring, negative style of football to come near Liverpool Football Club. Mourinho's all about Mourinho, mate. All about Mourinho. What do you think of City's first game away to West Ham? Could West Ham do anything? I've no idea. As somebody pointed out earlier on, the Premier League is... You've got to be respectful because anybody can beat anybody. So I could say no, but you never know. Anything's possible, yeah. Anything is possible. But you'd have to always make Manchester City favourites like you'd make Liverpool favourites going into most games in the Premier League. Sarant Fekir asked for a salary of €600,000 to stay. Well, quite frankly, as much as I like Nabil Fekir, if I'm Leon, I'm not paying him 600 grand either because he's not worth 600 grand a week, nowhere near it. If he's coming to Liverpool, I'll be amazed if he's on more than a quarter of that. Carl said, I think we need a world-class striker and move Firmino back into central attack and mid. I think that's understandable, but also naive to an extent, mate, because what you get from Bobby Firmino from the front is defending from the front. And as I said before, his pressing is so important to what we do. I keep harping back. An unfit Bobby Firmino in the first half of the Champions League final still covered more ground than any other Liverpool player. So... yeah, we undervalue it. I know we scored, I think, 12 goals was it this season in the league, or 12 goals in the season. I'm not sure which one it was. And it's not great numbers if you're looking at it purely from a number 9's perspective. But to view him as a number 9 is a little bit naive. It's a little bit false because he's just part of a front three. And that's the way I look at Bobby Firmino. He just gives so much to our attack and defending from the front and pressing and causing mistakes and making intelligent runs as well, which allow Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane to flourish and to find space and to score the wonderful goals that they score. So for me, I'd leave Bobby where he is, if I'm being honest, but I do take on board what you're saying, and a lot of people do have that thought as well, mate. I've been dreaming about Fekir, said Anthony. Happily Egg said, I wish we'd signed Martin Odegaard, the second best combination stats in the Eredivisie on loan from Real Madrid. Yeah, that whole move for him, mate. Remember at the time, he was linked with Liverpool when he, was it 16 years of age or 17 years of age when he went over to Real Madrid. I haven't kept track of him since, if I'm being honest. I know he's out on loan, as you've said, but I don't know. Will he go back to Real Madrid or not? I've no idea. We're linked with Asensio. Yes, we are. Let me just get my notes up on the Marco Asensio link. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, so Liverpool could reportedly have some good news in the transfer market today as it's emerged that Real Madrid are ready to sell Marco Asensio. According to AS, the Spanish Giants have set an asking price. Spanish Giants, they love fucking building them up, don't they? The Spanish Giants have set an asking price in the region of £80 to £88 million for Asensio, who does not feature strongly in the plans for next season. ESPN recently linked Liverpool with an interest in the Spanish international who could perhaps revive his career at Anfield. I pulled this article from Caught Offside, so again, huge pinch of salt when we're dealing with this type of stuff. Asensio is a name that's been bandied around towards Liverpool for at least 2 seasons now. I don't see it happening. If I'm being bluntly honest about this, 80 to 88 million quid for Asensio, who's not wanted at Real Madrid. Is he good enough at that money? I honestly don't know. He's a name that I've kind of seen fall off the radar a little bit. I haven't followed his career that closely at Real Madrid, but if Zinedine Zidane once should have him, does that give us an indication? I don't know. What do you guys think on Asensio? Yes? No? Is he worth 88 million quid? Is it more transfer rumour nonsense? Because I don't believe it, if I'm being honest. I mean, I didn't believe it the first time we were mentioned, the second time we were mentioned, and this is probably the 10th time we're mentioned, and I still don't believe we've got an interest in him. I've been dreaming about Fekir, which I've read already. 88 million for what? Said Aidan Andrews. Anfield Fortress said, all new to this great show, Craig, mate. Thank you, mate, and welcome. Great to have you with us. Appreciate the kind words. Who would be Fekir's best mate at Liverpool? Oh, I don't know. I haven't no enemy. I don't know, because I don't honestly know what type of personality Fekir is off the pitch, so it's hard to match him up with someone. Too much money, said John Hamilton for Asensio. Moreno is a joke of a manager, said John. It is John Allen. Yes, John Allen. Liverpool legend said, we got to give respect where it's due. Jose went to a job he couldn't succeed in. He's the best manager, but is still a great manager. I don't have to give anything to Jose Mourinho. I don't give him any credit. He went to United and bitched and moaned the entire time. Lived in a hotel, I believe, as well, which was weird throughout his time there. Moaned constantly, reminded the media from start to finish that he won 3 Premier League crowns his entire time, but none of them were at United, so he was pissing off United fans at the same time. And let's not also forget that Mourinho at United, it seemed like at times he was making decisions just to remind the board that he needs players in certain positions, and almost putting out a weakened team just to try and prove his point. So I don't want him anywhere near it. You've got to respect what he did at Chelsea, you've got to respect what he did at Porto and Inter Milan. But for me, the days of peak Jose Mourinho, I don't think they're going to be around anymore. Just my opinion on it. Again, though, he is a serial winner. You got to give him that one. But it's all about Jose, and I couldn't be arsed dealing with Jose Mourinho, to be honest. Load of shite, said Dirty Girl. I'd love to see what Liverpool can do with Ben Woodburn next season. Give him a chance in the League Cup. Ben Woodburn's a weird one, Jamie, because burst onto the scene the season before last. Was hyped up a lot, did okay for Wales, picked up an injury at the time, I think, then went out on loan to Sheffield United. Didn't really get much of a look in there because Sheffield United were just doing really, really well. Then he picked up another injury, came back to Liverpool, played some games with the under-23s, and it's kind of gone quiet since then. Definitely seems like a loan is the most reasonable thing to do with him, and then see how he gets on with a loan, see if he can prove his fitness, see if he keeps progressing. Carl said, should loan Bale for 2 years and then have an option to buy him afterwards? No, mate. Just no. We don't need an injury-prone Gareth Bale on our wages for 2 years and then think about buying him in 2 years' time. Nah. 2 years' time, Gareth Bale's value will be zip because he'll be pretty much finished. Maybe have 1 or 2 more years after that. I respect Gareth Bale, and on his day he can be one of the best in the world, but those days are not often enough, and for the type of wages he's probably going to command, even United are turning their noses up by the looks of it. And Real Madrid originally wanted to sell him, now they're willing to loan him out, because quite frankly there isn't really many places for him to go. Be interesting to see where he does end up though. I think, and I also want to point out that I think he's been massively disrespected at Real Madrid. By Real Madrid. I think he deserves more respect, and I don't mean to play down Gareth Bale's achievements in his career, because he's been tremendous. I mean, absolutely tremendous. I'll never forget the goal he scored against Barcelona. Of course I'll never forget that ridiculous goal he scored against Liverpool in the Champions League final, but not for Liverpool. It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me whatsoever. Just my opinion though. Ben Woodburn will probably end up back in the Championship, said Douglas James Horn. Daniel Nicolas Pepe, welcome to Liverpool, said it only joined what's happening. We're just having a chat, mate, at the moment about Marco Asensio, who'd been linked to Liverpool in a couple of places for around 80 to 88 million, which I don't believe, if I'm being honest. John Allen said, we need a replacement for Lovren / Matip. Well, it looks like it will be Lovren, mate, in that scenario, which I will get to again in a second. More stories around Degsy Lovren today, actually. The AC Milan thing is the big story. I think there's more than one club in Italy that are interested in him from what I've been reading. Will he move on? I don't know. I think, as I said last night, it's probably going to be a case that the manager sits down with Dejan Lovren and explains the situation to him, and if Lovren's happy to stay and be fourth choice, he might stay. If he wants to move on and get first team football, then he'll probably go on, and you could just wish him the best. Bale is so self-righteous, said Adam Parks. Bale can come on loan for a year. I don't want him. I really just don't want Bale, if I'm being honest. Imagine the instability or the unrest in our dressing room if Gareth Bale comes in and we're paying him 350, 400 grand a week for a year. I mean, how in his interest would it really be to succeed then? I mean, does he care after that year what happens at the club he's at? I don't know. I don't know Gareth Bale personally. Is Lovren leaving? Possibly. linked to a move to AC Milan, mate. That started coming around the past 48 hours or so. Would you take Insigne from Napoli? No. I think he's too hit and miss, mate. Again, I would put him in the same bracket as what's his face? Depay. Around that bracket again. And it can be amazing on his day, but can be very fucking selfish as well. I've seen him play for Napoli and he's just taking pot shots left, right and centre. I don't know if it's a Napoli, if it's because he's a Napoli boy and he feels like he has to take on that responsibility, but not for me. Can be great, but too inconsistent. Getting on a bit. Is he 26, 27 years of age as well? Would command a massive fee if Napoli were to sell him. I mean, it would take a massive fee for Napoli to sell him. When we play Leon, VVD will put him in his pocket and bring him home, said Vinnie Johnson. Milan and Lazio, said Douglas James Horn, with regards to Degsy Lovren. I take Lukaku, then Klopp can make him a good player. No, mate. Just no. Have you seen the state of his touch? I mean, it's not United that made him shit. It's him that made him shit. And at times, again, he's a player that can bully people and look really good, but nah, not for me. I wouldn't. An ex-United and an ex-Everton player, that's just a little bit too much for me to take personally, buddy. Claire Dean is in. How are you, Claire? Great to see you in again. Mr. Murph and the Magic Tones and Blue Lou. We've so much support in the Far East, but how many players could name from that region that would slot into Liverpool and prove us? Son. Probably it, mate. That's the only name I can think of right now. I think Milan wants Torreira from Arsenal as well as Lovren. I would be amazed if Arsenal sell Lucas Torreira. He's a fan favourite there. I couldn't see that happen. I think there'd be revolt amongst the Arsenal fans if they sold him so quickly. Lucas and Lovren would be reunited at Lazio. Oh yes, if they went there. Yeah, Lucas Leiva signed a new contract extension actually a few weeks ago at Lazio. Great to see him doing so well over there. Should we bring in Lukaku? No. Just my opinion. I mean, if you guys have your own opinions on this, please do put it in and I will happily read them out. But for me, I don't want Lukaku anywhere near Liverpool. Timo Werner, any news on him? We need cover for Firmino. Nothing other than, as I said last night, Bayern Munich seem to be playing the long game with Timo Werner and that they want him. I think he wants them. And they're trying to play hardball with Leipzig and say, oh, well, look, we'll just wait for next year and we'll get him on a free. Willow, how are you? And she's off. Talk to you soon, Willow. Hope all is well. Jamie Todd said, if you's got Ligt, here's the thing, he's 19 years of age. Would he really be a first team player in the Premier League over the likes of Matip and Gomez? I would probably have him, if everyone was fit, I'd probably have him behind Joe Gomez, you know. Not saying I wouldn't like him at the club, because I said previously I would, but yeah, he'd probably be just a little bit he's behind in his development, I think, compared to Joe Gomez. I know that sounds harsh, since he's just got into a Champions League semi-final, won the league, maybe the double with Ajax, but he still shows some frailties and some faults and some stuff that needs to be worked on. And I think for him it's important that he goes to a club more than anything where the coach is going to help him progress, and not just for money or not just for glory. If he really wants to be the best footballer that he can be, a club like Liverpool working with Klopp, a club like City maybe working with Pep, or a club with a manager that will really develop him and has a proven track record in bringing through top level young players, I think is really, really important for him. What else we got? Before Lukaku went to Everton, he was going to be going to Liverpool, but United were quicker. Okay, I hadn't heard that, to be fair. What else we got? Torreira said he'll get used to it, the Premier League. I think he's doing quite well, to be fair. Any news on a reserve keeper? Nope, because there's no news yet on Mignolet moving on, mate. The only links to reserve goalkeepers were Etheridge, Pepe Reina a little bit, and who was the other one? Adrian from West Ham. I'd rather have Lazar back than sign Lukaku, said Stephen Richards. Bruce going to get a shot next season. Yep, he absolutely is, Stephen. Well, sorry, it wasn't Stephen, it was Richard. Sorry, Richard, he will, mate. Yeah, definitely. Jurgen Klopp thinks really highly of him. Is Mr. Crosby in the chat? Is that why everyone's saying hello to Connor, or is it somebody else? I don't know if it's a different Connor or our Connor, but either way, hello to the Connor that's in the chat. Lukaku has got the touch of a priest. That is just, oh mate, I can't know. Right, so Liverpool have cancelled the pre-season friendly against Schalke, by the way, that was scheduled to take place on Tuesday the 6th of August. Postponed, I think is the correct term. The club says they're likely to play each other in a friendly at some point in 2020. Now, the reason that that's been postponed is because the Premier League has started on a Friday now for Liverpool, and it just wouldn't be enough time between Tuesday and Friday for players to recover and stuff like that. In this situation, I agree with the idea from the club to do it, but you do have to also take into account the fact that there's people who've already booked travel and people who've already booked hotels to come over to Liverpool for that, and people who were hoping to get their kids there for a game as well that can't usually get tickets to Anfield. So you do have to feel sorry for people in that situation, because it's a chance to see the Reds that they won't get for a while, and you do always have to think about the kids and stuff like that in these situations. Well, as I said though, I do believe it's the right move from the club, but at the same time there's always some fallback, isn't there? Neil Anthony said, Klopp has identified a left-footed utility player. Zielinski from Napoli has been mentioned, can play midfield and left back. We've been linked to Zielinski as far back as when Brendan Rodgers was here, before he went to Napoli. I think he was even pictured in a Liverpool shirt at one point. Not from the club, I think he was just wearing a Liverpool shirt. Good player, but I think we've moved past him with regards to quality. I think we're now a level or two above Zielinski, so for me I would pass on that one as well. Craig, do you think Grealish as an understudy for Milner? I don't know on Jack Grealish. I'm still undecided on him. Sometimes I look at him and think, yeah, the guy has it. The guy has the capabilities of pushing on and being a real top level footballer, and then other times I just don't see it. I've got to be honest as well and say, of course, I've seen limited amounts of Aston Villa, but he did show up on the big occasions for Villa, and he did get back into the Premier League, so you got to give him credit for that one. It is Mr. Crosby that's in the chat. How are you, Connor? Zielinski is good. He's okay. I mean, he's not a regular starter for Napoli either. Most of the times I've watched Napoli, I've seen him come off the bench. Sign Lukaku to clean Salah's boots for him, said Connor. What have we got? We're 49 subs away now, ladies and gents. 49 away from 17k, and there's 426 people watching the stream right now. You know what to do, ladies and gents. If you are one of the 49 we need that haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. What else we got? Any news on Fekir or Pepe? Fekir we covered at the start. There's been mixed stuff on him. Some people saying we're in for him, some people saying we aren't in for him. I'll leave it up to you to think, what you believe or what you don't believe on that one. I'm in the hope camp. I really hope it happens. It's definitely a hope camp more than a think it will happen camp. You might have seen on the stream title we said that Salah is more valuable than Lionel Messi. We didn't just say that for effect. We didn't just pull that out of our arse and put an opinion in there. It's actually something that has been written. Let me talk you through it. It'll make more sense when I read through this. So we've spoken about this crowd before, but a study into football transfer fees has suggested that PSG's Kylian Mbappe is the world's most valuable player, and that Liverpool youngster Trent Alexander-Arnold is worth more than Manchester United's Paul Pogba. CIES Football Observatory, you might remember us talking about these guys before. They've used an algorithm taking into account the factors such as age, contract status, position, game time, goals, international experience and club performance to calculate an estimated market value for leading players. Kylian Mbappe could apparently be worth as much as €252 million, ahead of Mohamed Salah, who is at €219.6 million, second on the list. So they have Mo Salah down as the second most valuable player in the world. Manchester City's Raheem Sterling is valued on this system at €207.8 million, and he's valued ahead of Barcelona's Lionel Messi, who's at €167.4 million, but he is 8 years older. And with rising England and Borussia Dortmund star Jadon Sancho fifth with a value of €159.4 million, according to this CIES Football Observatory algorithm. There's some other surprising rankings in the list, including 20-year-old Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was valued at €130.2 million, I should say, ahead of both his former Liverpool teammate Felipe Coutinho, who's €129 million, and Manchester United's Paul Pogba, who's valued at €125.1 million. What do you think about that? Again, Mbappe, I would probably agree, most valuable player in the world right now, €252 million. Mo Salah, 219.6, second most valuable player in the world right now, according to this CIES Football Observatory algorithm. It's interesting. As I said, it does take into account lots of different things: age, contract status, position, game time, goals, international experience, club performance, and so much more. That's probably way above anything I'd ever understand. But anything that puts Liverpool players up there at the top of something, I'm going to read it out, because I take any opportunity I can to try and big up Liverpool Football Club and their players. What do you guys think? Have you read this? Have you seen it? Luke Skywalker said he's valued at £3.56. I've seen estimates ranking you as high as £4, if I'm being honest, Luke. So I think you're undervaluing yourself by about 44p there, my friend. Craig, bit nervous we haven't signed anyone yet. Well, I don't think there's any need to be, Mark. Has anybody in the Premier League done any business yet, really? Very little, particularly the top clubs, mate. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think it'll happen in due course. The club will have been working on these things for months now, and people are on the holidays. Some people still away on international duty. Yeah, you've got to take all that into account. And of course, the Reds finished the season later than everybody else with a Champions League victory over Spurs. Would like to see Marco Grujic back at the club, said John Allen. Yeah, so would I, but it could be another loan or else a sale this summer. If it depends on what you believe when you read. Get in there, Trent Alexander-Arnold, said Adam Parks. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? They hear him valued at more than Paul Pogba. I love that. I'm more afraid of who Newcastle are going to sign after being sold, said Jamie Todd. Don't think that deal is fully being ratified yet, mate, but I get where you're coming from. Connor said, Craig, is somebody who played at a high level as a goalkeeper? Did I? Jesus, mate, that's the first I'm hearing of that. What do CIES value you at? 2 cans of Diet Chav, a crunchy and a bag of Kyo's, mate, and possibly some loose change down the back of the sofa. That's, using their own algorithm. Sterling's better than Messi, what the hell? Again, mate, they're not saying that Sterling's better than Messi. That's not what they're saying. They're just saying that his age, where he's playing, the goals he's scoring, all them factors taken into account means that his market value would probably be more than Lionel Messi. No one's saying Sterling's better than Messi, because, he isn't, really, to be fair. It's just that he's probably more valuable than Messi, according to this, because Messi's coming towards the end of his career. Origi scored the most valuable goals this season. What's he valued at? I didn't see it on the list, Richard. Sorry, mate, I didn't see his name on there. For us, though, he's priceless, isn't he? Because, as you said, the goals he scored this season. Plenty of time for signings. Trust in Klopp and Edwards, said Aziz Khan. I could not agree more, my friend. Absolutely spot on. Where was that other comment? Anthony said, Craig, remember when we signed Balotelli, even Koscielny, from Arsenal scored more goals than him. Don't get me started on Balotelli, mate. I'm trying to wipe him from my memory. V8 Van Dijk values himself at least a £5. I mean, it's always good to value yourself at a nice round number, mate. Lingard's worth his 3 shillings on a backup dancer, said Aidan Andrews. What do you think of Lozano? I read a little article on him, actually, linking him to Ajax, surprisingly enough, which is weird, because would you go from PSV to Ajax? Would they make that move? The club, I mean, would PSV allow that to happen? I'd say he will move on this summer, but where to, I've no idea. I haven't really been keeping much track of him, to be honest, Neil. I was wondering why City weren't rumoured with Ligt. It does seem not to make sense, Antoine, particularly if they're looking to bring in a centre-back, and they had been linked to Harry Maguire as well, because Vincent Kompany has moved on, or Vincent Kompany, or whichever way you want to pronounce his name. El Vinny has moved on. There's talk today that Manchester United were happy to go as high, or no, not that they're happy to, that they aren't put off by the proposed £90 million valuation of Harry Maguire. £90 million for Harry Maguire. He's a good defender. He's a top level defender. And it's unfair to compare his price to Virgil van Dijk's price, because Virgil van Dijk's price was 18 months ago. And the market has certainly moved on from them. But £90 million for old Slabhead. Is he worth £90 million? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide that. Maybe Boya can give us an opinion on this. He gets to watch him every week. Leave it to Klopp. He knows what he's doing, said Dan Mack. Origi in the starting 11, not for me, Liverpool fan, no, if I'm being honest. Not in the starting 11, mate, no. Did we sell John Flanagan, or is he on loan? We cancelled his contract, Anthony, I believe. Or else we sent him out on loan and his contract expired. But either way, he's not under contract at Liverpool Football Club. David Jones reckons VVD is valued at 300 mil. Yeah, I love a bit of VVD. Do you know what? I hope we do sign him to that rumoured contract that he wants to sign to basically end his career here, because he deserves it. And when you're as good as him and you read the game as well as him, I don't think age will be a massive factor in his downfall. He doesn't rely on pace, although he does have it. He just relies on his reading of the game, and that's important. And that's why I think Virgil van Dijk will go on to play till he's 33, 34, perhaps even 35. Liverpool sacked Flanagan, said Anfield Fortress, which is what I thought. I thought they'd cancelled his contract alright, but I just needed a second guess myself, just in case. Take Lukaku and his bandy touch out of United, please. It looks like they're trying to move him on, mate, but again, will they get the money they want from him? Will he get a move that he wants? Boy, straight in with it. They can either pay 90 million or fuck off. And that's kind of what I'd be saying if it was the other way around, mate, as well. If it was one of our players and he was touted as moving on and it looked like he wanted to move on, it's a good position to be in, though, isn't it, from Leicester's point of view? Like, just pay it or piss off, basically. Because we know Leicester, they're not desperate for money. They're a well-run club and they're looking to push on themselves. Liam Hunter said he's worth 90 million to Leicester. 90 million for Slabhead. Okay, mate, said Aidan Andrews. That's the rumour that's going around. Maguire is £85 million too expensive, said Kieran Aaron. Do you think Klopp should use his German connections to better effect in terms of signing German talent? It is, I won't say unusual, but yeah, it hasn't really been any, mate. I get where you're coming from, Dara. I think he just wants the players that he thinks will fit best for the club, and if they're German, if they're French, if they're Spanish, Italian, I don't think it matters. He's used his German connections to bring in Kornmeier and the other person that he brought in from Bayern Munich, and I can't remember what that person's name is, but he's used it in that sense. Maybe he just doesn't think there's value there, and he used it for Karius as well. Let's not forget that. It's just he hasn't really gone back to Dortmund, I suppose. We were linked, remember when he came in first, everyone was thinking about Marco Reus, and then of course we had the link to Mario Götze as well. I don't know, mate. I haven't really given it much thought. I just want the best players of the club that are suited to play for the club. After that, I don't really mind. But it's certainly, it's a conversation that you could have, Dara, yeah. Isn't Lazar off the books now? Oh God, yes, Andrew. He is indeed, mate. And if he isn't, then he's off the books at the end of this month. But either way, yes, thankfully, he's no longer robbing a living from Liverpool. What was it, 70 grand a week or something he was getting? And he had an awfully shit haircut as well. Awful. Connor said, subscriber, he'll sue you for copyright infringement. There you go. Coming straight from Connor. Not me. I love all of you. But I always told you Connor was an asshole. Do you know what I mean? Now he's threatening people with legal action as well. But don't take his threats lightly. He means what he says. Hit that fucking subscribe button. God almighty. The ways people go about it on here. We're not usual. We're not normal. What do you think of VAR being introduced this season? I'm more pro VAR than I am anti VAR, but I also think that the Premier League officials are awful overall. There's some good referees in there, some decent officials, but overall the calibre of officiating in the Premier League needs to be better. So I think for offsides and stuff, it should be fairly straightforward. For the likes of penalty incidents, stuff like that, I don't know. I'm still on the fence because, as I said, it's not black and white. A lot of it's open to interpretation, and what one referee might give as a foul or a handball, another referee might not. How much contact there's going to be, shirt pulling, all this stuff needs to be levelled out. And you either need to say at the start of the season, look, anyone pulling shirts, it's penalties, yellow cards and penalties, or you let it go more and more. You have to be consistent in what you're doing. And that's my problem with VAR, is that will it give the consistency that we all hope for? I know some people like the little arguments over offsides and stuff because it gives you stuff to chat about with your mates or down the pub, but I don't know. I think overall it'll be more of a plus than a negative, but it'll take time, and I want the decisions, like everybody else, I want the decisions to be hurried up. They're going to show VAR replays on big screens in the Premier League apparently as well. Now, Anfield doesn't have a big screen. So what then happens there at Anfield for these replays? It is important that when we're watching games on television, we can see what's going on with VAR. We can see what's happening. We can see the angles. We can see the replays. But sometimes people inside the stadium haven't had a Scooby-Doo. What's going on? I remember we played... Was it the game against... Wolves was in the cup, was that or less? We played somebody in the cup, and there was VAR in that game, and people inside the stadium at times hadn't got a clue what was going on, and you got to understand that affects things massively. They need to understand what's going on. So again, it's a mixed bag for me, but I mean, I'm happy to put it over to you guys and see what your opinion is. This season is by far our best chance to win the league. P.S. Lukaku has the touch of a baby giraffe. You're not allowed to say baby giraffe without talking about Joel Matip, because Connor has christened him a baby giraffe. What else we got? Blessings, Craig. Same to you, Peter, mate, and great to have you in. Thank you so much for the kind words, buddy. The Premier League fixtures The Premier League fixtures look fixed, not gonna lie. Why? Phenomenal Empire? Why do you think so, mate? Any news on our training ground? It's supposed to be ready for next season, from what I believe. Well, sometime during the next year, but we'll move to it the following season, Samir. A lot of the work is done. The last I'd seen, the steel work and stuff was up. But we're still going to be at Melwood for this season, and then we'll move the following season. Yes, Douglas James Horn, that is something I'm going to read out now, actually. Thank you for reminding me on that one, because I did have my notes on it. We spoke about Karius a few times, and people were wondering, will he still be at Besiktas? Will he not be at Besiktas? I believe that he is staying at Besiktas, but there was a link came out today that AS Roma are interested in signing Loris Karius, according to Fodomac and Sport Witness. New Roma boss Paulo Fonseca is reportedly in the market for a new keeper, and Karius is said to be an option. The 25-year-old agreed a 2-year loan deal with Besiktas last term and impressed during the second half of the campaign. It was actually a loan to buy deal. It wasn't just a loan deal. I think we need to clear that up. But again, if he moves to Roma, great, fair play to him. I just don't think he'd be coming back to Liverpool, and I genuinely want what's best for Loris Karius in this situation, because I hope he goes on and has a good career. I wish the guy nothing but the best, but I don't think he'd be coming back to Liverpool. But yeah, as Douglas James Horn pointed out, there was links today for Roma, who's brought in that new manager Fonseca. They sacked Di Francesco, and yeah, let's just wait and see what happens. Either way, it probably won't affect us too much. What do you think is going to be the hardest month in the new season? December for me, Prez. I know you've said October, December or March. I think December, because as well as having 6 games, we've got the Club World Cup as well. So yeah, there you go. Box said, it's the Irish Mark Goldbridge. You're so fucking original, mate. Well in, Box. You're probably only the 5,000th person who's tried to crack that half-assed joke, mate, and I'm about as far removed from Goldbridge as possible. Mark's far more eloquent and patient than I am, whereas I'll tell you you're a cunt straight to your face on the stream. Yeah, I'm not the Irish Mark Goldbridge, mate. Mark didn't invent fan channels. He didn't invent OBS. He didn't invent YouTube. He's perfected a lot of it, to be fair to him. He's great at what he does. Really a fan of Mark myself, but to call me the Irish Mark Goldbridge is just fucking lazy, mate. Honestly, it's just lazy. Goldbridge doesn't swear half as much as I do. He's got more hair than I do as well. He's more English than I am. There's just so many things that differentiates the two of us. And most importantly, he's a mank. And I'm on the good side of history. Do you know what I mean? I'm a Liverpool fan here. He's a mank. A great mank. A mank that I like. But yeah, come on, mate. Fuck off being lazy and come up with an original comment. You heard anything about the possibility of a Nike deal? It's gone very quiet. I haven't heard anything at all, Phil, about the new kit deal. I'd say the club obviously want to be respectful of New Balance now and let them get these new kits out. 2 of them being released already. Obviously the 3rd kit still to come out. Yeah, I'd say we'll probably be maybe around Christmas time before we might start hearing anything. But what I will say though, Phil, is that we're in a great position, aren't we, as a club right now? We've got obviously to negotiate with New Balance. There's rumours that Adidas are in as well, and Nike. And I've said all along, mate, I don't want Nike making Liverpool kits. It just doesn't feel like a good fit to me. But then again, if people pointed out, if Nike come down and lash a load of money down on the table and give the club a ridiculous amount over 10 years, it will only benefit the club, won't it? So I get both sides of this one, but for me, I would rather stick with New Balance or have Adidas making our kits. That's always been my opinion on it. But Phil, I'd love to know what you think, buddy. It feels like it's been a while as well, Phil. I hope you're keeping well, mate. Jason said, Anfield agenda, my 2 pennies is that we have to invest in an exciting striker. Competition is important. We're the Champions League winners, cannot walk into the dark. Nevertheless, in Klopp we trust. Jason, I agree. I think it's a fair point that you make, mate. I don't know about a striker as such. For me, it's just someone across the front three. And we can't stand still. I've always been saying that, and it's a good point, mate. And thank you. I don't know if it's your first comment. I can't remember if it is or isn't, mate. But welcome. Great to have you with us. Craig, you're not English. I know. It's a shock. I know with my thick English accent. Mr. Cleany said Nottingham, Goldbridge, Plastic, Mank. To be fair, I have the height of respect for Mark. Haven't gotten to know him. And banter aside, I find the comments about me being the same as Mark lazy from other people, but I will defend Mark because I like Mark. He's been really helpful of us. He's a damn nice fella as well off camera, and he's probably the hardest working one out of all of us that do this type of stuff. He works his backside off and knows what he's at. So he very much does love Manchester United as well. That much I'll say. From it's obviously a massive fault of his, him not being, should be a Liverpool fan. I mean, it's like the dark side versus the good side. We're the good side, clearly. Here's the one thing. Had Craig a beer, gone in seconds. What's this? Here's the one thing. Had Craig a beer, it'd be gone in seconds. Hand Mark one, it'd still be there a year later. I don't drink, Jamie, so mate, if you hand me a Diet Coke, I'll chug it like a bastard. But do you think 750 million for the new kit deal is possible? I think it'll be more than that, Pranav. I've heard rumours of 1.2 billion being the number over 10 years. I suppose the important part of this is how long it's over, because 750 million over 3 years would be infinitely better than 750 million over 10 years. But it will be interesting to see. The kit deals tend to be long deals these days, so you're talking probably a 10-year deal. Puma's deal with Manchester City, which was for, of course, the whole City brand of clubs, was 650 million, I think, over 10 years. Let's wait and see. I know we spoke about Bayern Munich recently signed a deal, or about to announce a deal. Not even a sponsorship deal, more a club car partnership deal, which is worth something like 1.2 billion euro over 12 years or something like that. It's a crazy amount of money. Goldbridge not from Manchester, no. But when I say he's a mank, I mean from a footballing perspective, John, who he supports, mate. Who let the Craig out? Who? I prefer Adidas to Nike, said Pranav, as would I. El Hadj Diouf. Ooh, get a shiver, Antoine, mate, when I hear that lad's name. I very rarely badmouth a former Liverpool player, but El Hadj Diouf is a prick of the highest order. Yeah, I've no positive things at all to say about that man. None. The way he's disrespected Gerrard, Carragher, the club, he's spat at people as well. He's just not a nice guy, not a nice fella at all. Mr. Clean at once Kappa. It's a bit old school Kappa. Nike are boring, said Aidan Andrews. Stephen Richards said, Craig, difference between you and Mark, you're honest and reliable. He's a mank. Look, as I said, I've nothing but fondness for Mark, and I hate when people bring it up because I end up going down this road, but I always want to just get back around to the point where I respect Mark Goldbridge a lot. I didn't for a very long time. I'm not going to lie about it. And he knows this because I've had the conversation with him about it. But Mark had a change of tact, I think, in the last 12 months or so, and he's more fun now. He's a good lad, and I like following him on Twitter as well because he makes some funny posts. I'm back for next stream. Keep up the good work, said Conor Murray. Thank you very much, mate. Great to see you with us. Hope you're enjoying it. Adidas make better kits, said Tony Shields. We still have over 400 people watching, guys, and we're 43 away from 17,000. 17,000! It's so fucking big for us. So if you are watching, you haven't subscribed, again, please do hit that button. Craig with sponsorship money talks. It does, yeah, money does talk, Stephen. You're right. If you go in and throw a massive wedge on the table, it absolutely does talk. But it's not sponsorship. It's important to say Standard Chartered are our sponsors. This is about a kit manufacturer deal. I know it doesn't really make a difference. There's still money coming into the club. Claire Dean said, I would like to stick with New Balance though. Don't mind a bit of Adidas. I love a bit of Adidas, but I also like New Balance. I just want to point out as well today that I'm only wearing this hoodie to wind up Stephen Richards, just to annoy him, because he likes to call me a cucumber and a Brussels sprout when I wear this top. So sometimes I wear it just as a bit of a wind up to Stephen. How many signings do you think will make this window? Some of it will depend on outgoings, mate, but I'm going to have a guess at 3. 3 that will compete for a genuine place, and not like kids that might come in and go into the under 23s and stuff. Phil Lindsay said, breaking, Chelsea and Juve agree a deal for Maurizio Sarri, which, you know, was always coming, wasn't it, to be fair. And I'm glad for Sarri because he has been treated shit, I should say, sorry, by Chelsea. He went and won them the Europa League. He's been there one season. At the start of the season, he was the best thing since sliced bread. Sarri ball this, Sarri ball that. And now all of a sudden, they didn't want him. They want to bring in Frank Lampard, apparently. I don't know. I just wish Sarri well because he deserves better than the treatment he got at Chelsea. Sarabia said, is it Sarabia? Said, stick with New Balance. Adidas were the ones who ditched us. Yeah, they did. And they had a sly little dig as well when they said that we weren't worth the money we were asking. Norwich first game is golden. What do you think of our first few fixtures? What have we got again? First few fixtures. Norwich, Southampton, Arsenal and Burnley. Yeah, they're alright. You'd expect... Not going to lie, actually. I'd expect 12 points from August. I'd be disappointed with anything other than 12 points. Yeah, got to be honest. I'd expect a 12. Craig has a strong Cockney accent, said Boya. Yeah. That's Trico. Get up them apples and pears, you fucking tramp. There you go. That's my best Cockney impression. How bad was that? This is why I don't do impressions, by the way. I'm awful. Am I fast? No, I'm fat, mate. Actually, my wife sent me something the other day and I kept meaning to say this to you guys. Please, I want nobody to take any offence by this, by the way, because I'm actually speaking about myself. But again, don't take any offence at what I'm about to say. Where is it gone? There it is. I'm fat, but I identify as skinny. I'm trans slender. That's what I want to go with from now on. So I am a fat person, but I identify as a skinny person. I'm trans slender. That's the way I'd like to be referred to from now on, please. I think New Balance deserves the chance to keep working with the club. They've done a great job. I fully agree with that, Brian. And some of the little extra bits we've got with New Balance as well, like the trainers, the blackout kits, some of the limited edition stuff. I've liked New Balance. I think they've been very creative, very respectful of the club. And we know they have that matching clause apparently in the contract as well, which means that if they won't come in and match whatever offer comes in, then they get the gig. What do you think Craig, when do you think big screens will be installed inside Anfield? Where do you put them, mate, is the real question here. You would think that the obvious option here might be to look at when you're redoing the Annie Road end. Somebody else also mentioned that you could wheel one in. Maybe put it in the corner or something, I don't know. But it is an issue. It is an issue that needs to be addressed. How long have you got left with Standard Chartered? Hand on heart, Mark, I don't know. I have a feeling in the back of my head that we renewed something with Standard Chartered. But the honest answer is I don't know, and there's probably somebody better placed than me, mate, to give you the answer to that one. Sarabia, thank you. I try my best to pronounce things correctly, mate, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky. Apologies if I'm late. I've been studying, said Roberto. Mate, never any need to apologise. It's always a pleasure to have you in. Craig, new signing for EastEnders. Can you imagine it? Yeah, alright, princess. Shut your mouth, you fucking slag. And there you go, another one. Look, just like listening to Phil Mitchell, isn't it? Hey Craig, hope you've had a good day. Happy with our opening fixtures prediction for the Norwich game. Yes, I've had an okay day and a bit of a headache, as I said, busy day, but our opening fixtures seem okay, and Norwich should be an easy enough one. Do you know what I mean? We should beat Norwich at home opening day of the season, under the lights as well. It's 2019, so you'll get away with it, said Alex George. I'm not really offending anybody, it's more of a joke. I know, I just have to be extra careful at times because I don't want to offend anybody, except for trolls who come in being a dickhead and they can kiss my ass. But people that come in, see, normally I just want to have fun with. Craig, I don't think you're fat at all. I think you look absolutely amazing. Thank you, mate, but I am. Look, there's no denying. I am, but I know I am. That's alright. I'm working hard. I've lost 11 pound over the past 6 weeks or so I'm working at it. Yeah, I'm working hard at it. I'm fucking starving as well, if I'm being honest. He's fat, he's round, he's worth £1 million. That was Claire. I don't know. I mean, I thought you liked me, Claire. I know I call you a dipso at times because, you know, I always imagine you with a glass of red wine, but I thought we were mates. Good day, Craig and Red, said Messi's red beard. Liverpool United, the only clubs that'll miss out on VAR replays. This must be rectified. Yes, mate, it has to be. If they're going to bring in replays of VAR incidents, which of course they are, the Premier League have said, then yeah, I agree. It has to be rectified. Let me just dip into my notes because I've so fucking much that I don't want to miss out on something. We've done that one. They've talked about the friendly. That's done. Done that one. Done that one. Done that one. Done that one. Oh yes. I want to read you guys out something, and this bear with me a second because this is actually quite good. So Liverpool have been advised against signing 2 transfer targets this summer. Speaking on the latest Blood Red podcast, Rich Allen, who's an expert of French football, has reservations about Nicolas Pepe and Memphis Depay coming to Liverpool. He said, yes, Depay has got his career back on track to a degree, but he's still an intensely frustrating player. On his day, he can be up there with the very best. Some of the skills, movement, passing and finishing he's got can be marvellous, but so often his head disappears or he gets such an inflated ego that he gets frustrated and disappears. I think any club going for him has to bear that in mind, that he has to be the number one player in the team, that he has to be loved, adored and pampered. And if I'm Liverpool, I'm not necessarily sure I'm looking to introduce a character like this into that squad, which has fantastic camaraderie and togetherness. Yes, we spoke about this, and these are the kind of things that I said as well. It's very similar to what I'd said to you myself. And obviously this guy knows the French League infinitely more, but that is how Depay comes across to me. He then goes on to talk about Nicolas Pepe, and he said, as for Nicolas Pepe, he was Lille's standout player this season and arguably the standout player in the French League. But for the money wanted for him, I think it's a bit of a gamble, as Lille are looking for a fee in the region of 65 to 70 million euro. I could see him at a Premier League team, but for that amount of money, you'd be buying him to be a first team player, which for me would probably rule out Liverpool. It would be difficult for Liverpool to warrant paying 65 to 70 million euro on a player who's going to be second choice behind Mohamed Salah, for example. And that story comes where I've taken it from via the Mirror, but as I said, I just want to reiterate that it did come from the latest Blood Red podcast, which is, I think it's associated with the Echo. It's the Echo's podcast, if memory serves me correct. So yeah, very interesting stuff there from Rich Allen, who is an expert of French football. What do you guys think? Nicolas Pepe, he's saying probably not the right move for Liverpool. For that amount of money, he'll need to be a starter, and he mightn't be a starter at Liverpool. What do you guys think about that one? And again, on Memphis Depay, he basically calls him a diva, really, doesn't he? That's what I read into it. Did you talk about Fekir? I did, AJ, yes. And we still don't know any more, mate, than we did yesterday. It's one way or the other. Some people saying he will sign, some people are saying that he won't sign. Darren, how are you, mate? Says hello from me and Hayley. Hello to the both of you. Hope you're both keeping well. Craig, I'm bald, but I identify as hairy, said Stephen Richards. It's handy start, to be honest, for Liverpool, said Tony Shields. Reminded me of the Sammy Lee song, mate. No red for me, unfortunately, but then tomorrow is Friday. Yes, Claire. But will it be a normal Friday, or will it be a Fekir Friday? Let's wait and see. Gareth N7 said, Anthony Cronin, thanks, I've got tickets for the Arsenal game as well. Nice. Salah is nowhere near more than Messi, just shut up. Okay, Rufus, you fucking mong. Before you come in with your smart arse comments, how about taking the time to actually either fucking watch what we've said, mate, or read up on it yourself, you absolute fucking retard. And yes, I said retard because I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of people like you coming in with your little shitty snidey comments when you're as ignorant as fuck and haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Let me just read it out to you, mate, just so I can educate your ass. It was a study into transfer fees from a company called CIS Football Observatory, and they used an algorithm taking into account factors such as age, contract situation, position, goals, international appearances, club performances to calculate market value. You little fucking fanboy. Now piss off and annoy somebody else. Fuck me. You're definitely one of those fucking idiots that sees a headline and thinks that you know the whole story, aren't you? Admit it. You're definitely one of them. Or maybe that, or you're just a Messi fanboy. But either way, mate, people like you do my fucking head in. And I'm not going to apologise for saying the word retard, because I use the word retard every fucking day, and we all do. So if somebody's offended by that, I get it. But that's me. And I'm going to say what I want to say. Do you know that? No more holding back. I've been nice for a very long time, and I continue to be nice to people that are nice, but I'm not holding back. I'm trolling little gobshites like him. They do my fucking head in. Right. Seed said, away from football, I'm a big MMA fan. Thoughts on Khabib versus Dustin Poirier? He beats Dustin Poirier for me. I know Dustin Poirier has come on leaps and bounds since McGregor beat him, but yeah, I just can't see Adam but Khabib beating him, if I'm being honest, mate. And look, I'm not a massive UFC fan, but I do watch it a bit. Right, what else have we got? Memphis Depampered. I like that one. I like that one daily. What three players would you sign this window if you were a Liverpool manager? Fekir. I don't know. Is the honest answer, because a lot of this depends on who we sell. So just give me Fekir or Neres, or I don't know about Pepe because I haven't seen enough of him. I'm glad you guys aren't upset at me, and I know using the word retard can offend some people, but let's be honest. Let's be blank about this. It's a word we mostly use with our mates, going back and forth, don't we? We all use it. Yeah. So if that offended anybody, that use of that word, I'm sorry, but it's in my vocabulary and it's something that I say all the time. And he is a fucking idiot, to be fair. Just like yesterday with that guy who couldn't spell the word nonce. Yeah, but at least that gentleman came back in and we sorted it out, and he was actually a really nice guy. And yeah, we sorted it out and we moved on throughout the podcast. Or stream, sorry. Why wouldn't Pepe be happy to split minutes with world-class players on City's bench? I understand it. And I think sometimes we need to remember that it's easier for players to be happy not playing all the time if they're part of a winning team. And I think that is important. Craig's letting the haters know today, let me tell you. Yeah, there's a couple of things you should know about me at this point, ladies and gents. I will treat people with respect until they don't show respect anymore, at which case I'll go nuclear on them, and I don't care. I really don't give a fuck. I don't initiate any horribleness on this channel. I never look for arguments. It's only when people come in trolling. And look, you're right, a lot of the time I shouldn't even read them out. But sometimes I don't know I've read them out until I've read them out, because I'm just going through and picking at random comments, and I'm halfway through a comment before I realise it's a trolling comment. But I will never intentionally offend anybody that's here for the right reasons. That much I hope you know about me by now. And I know, I can already see, I can already feel that there's going to be people in the comments later on having a go about using the word retard. And honestly, I bet you every single one of you probably use it as well. If we're being honest about this, and sometimes things are a little bit too politically correct. And I call myself a retard a lot of the time as well, because I am stupid a lot of the time. What three players would you sign? I've done that one. And if there is any words, by the way, if there is any phrases that I normally use, and I'm talking to the people in the chat here who I actually give a shit about, do you know what I mean? Not to trolls, to people like everybody, basically, who's in here now. If there is words that I use that do offend you, then please let me know, because I'll try my best not to use them. I will try, for the people I care about. The people I don't care about can kiss my ass, as I've always said. And do let me know, by the way, because it is a community on here, and I want everyone to feel comfortable. I'm offended because I hate Americanisms, said Lee. Is that an Americanism? I don't know. Craig has a sore head and cannot be bothered with trolls. Yes, I do have a really bad headache. You've probably seen this eye is kind of squinting a little bit at times because it's that sore. It's mad how some people defend Messi or Ronaldo more than they would people they know. Yeah, look, that's the funny thing about it, Aiden, mate. Nobody was saying that Messi isn't the greatest player of a generation. He just seen the headline and thought that he knew fucking everything, and thought that we were on here belittling Lionel Messi. Didn't take the time to wait and see what we were talking about, ask what we were talking about, or even look into the whole thing himself. He just went and tried to be a smart arse, and I have no time for that. If people have a genuine question, I'll absolutely do my best to explain things to them. Joanne said, but the word was/is associated with Aspie/autistic people, and is used as a derogatory term about us. In that case, Joanne, shouldn't I be entitled to use the word? If I'm part of the marginalised people, shouldn't I be entitled to use it? That's I don't know. I'm not trying to hide behind that. I would use the word regardless, if I'm being honest. And it's something I would say back and forth all the time with my mates. It is genuinely is a word I'd use. Craig's a real fella. Piss him off if you dare. So Gary Richards. He'll be some Fekir if he doesn't join LFC. Said Tony Shields. Yeah, there's so many Irish Fekir type puns we could make, and I actually sat down with my missus yesterday and went through a few of them, see how many we could get. Connor, it's fine, Craig. No worries. We still love you. Can you imagine what Robbie Fowler will be doing coming off the bench for this team? I was never I was very rarely as happy, Dara, as I was the day I found out that Rafael Benitez was bringing Robbie Fowler back to Liverpool for that little spell at the end of his career. God, I love that so much, mate. I love that time. Someone should make a Craig getting mad at trolls compilation. I'm not gonna lie, Kirby, mate. I'd watch that. I really would, mate. I'd watch that. I just haven't got the patience to go back through all the streams and find them. Craig, the only thing that offends me is I won't even say the word, Scotty, because it offends you, and I think you know why, mate. And I don't think I've ever used that. Actually, not a word I would use, Scotty, because it's not really a word that's in my vocabulary, mate. Offending words: Manchester City, United, Everton, Coutinho, and Ramos. There you go, John. I fully agree with you. They're all offensive words. Why are people mad at Chan? He left fair and square. His contract was up. I've never said anything, Roberto, about Emre Can, mate. As you said, he fulfilled his time at Liverpool. I look at Emre Can's time at Liverpool as him being a thorough professional, and he left. His contract was up, and he had every right to leave. I've no ill feeling whatsoever towards Emre Can. I think the only player linked of any truth is probably Timo Werner, said Neil Anthony. Sarri has joined Juventus, Craig. Just got a notification. Yeah, somebody mentioned it earlier on, Scotty. I think it was Phil, if memory serves. But thank you for putting it in. Ronnie, I won't even say the word, mate. It's the same word that Scotty put in, and it's never a word you'll hear me using because it's not in my vocabulary. Don't like the word midget. Some of my friends call me it sometimes, and it pisses me off. Not gonna lie, I've probably called my wife a midget, mate. Occasionally, she is like 5 foot nothing. Yeah, not gonna lie, I've probably said that to her. I got called an Aspie prick last night at work for standing up to a shoplifter. Well, if somebody called me an Aspie prick, mate, they'd be gone through the window of the shop. Or they called anybody I'd seen or anybody I knew that. Yeah, that's fucking horrible. That is just plain horrible because you're absolutely picking on somebody for one reason there. That's where we were talking about the word retard earlier on, and I honestly think we all use that word. Whether you take offence by it or not, I understand. I'm not somebody that's... It takes a lot to really offend me, like, if you're coming at me. Yeah, there's very little anybody can say that would really offend me. But again, I know everybody has different tolerance levels, and that's what sometimes that it's actually a really good way to talk about the mods on here. Myself and Brian had this conversation before. Sometimes people get kicked out for different things, and I'll receive an email or a message saying, look, Craig, I got kicked out because of this, this and this. And sometimes I look at it and go, yeah, I think you deserve to be kicked out. And sometimes I look at it and go, I probably wouldn't have kicked you out for that. So let's have a conversation about it and then we'll move on. And I think different things offend different people and different things annoy different people, which is why it's so hard to get the moderator situation right on a YouTube channel, because what offends me and Brian might not offend Claire and Anthony. What offends Douglas might not offend Luke or Connor. So it's very difficult for us to find a balance. So some people will get kicked out and they will feel hard done by. And I'm always open to a conversation around that. So if anybody's watching this that's been removed from the channel, I'm always open to a conversation. There's always a way back. There's always a path to redemption, and mistakes will get made. And we work to try and limit those mistakes. The people that we have as mods, we always reassess. Always. We've removed some mods from people recently. People who I really like and people who we think are great as part of the channel. But we just think sometimes maybe they're a little bit too trigger happy. They're a little bit too sensitive in certain areas. And myself and Brian are always talking and we're always reassessing these things because we're very mindful of trying to make the right type of community in here for people to come in and have fun. I hope that explains a few things, because it's a subject that I wanted to touch on actually, because myself and Brian spoke about it, and we've got a great team of mods in here that do a wonderful job, and we love them and we appreciate their time. But we do have to always reassess things as well, and people will make mistakes. Ramos wants to leave Madrid. Can he replace Lovren? He said he's staying at Madrid, mate. He said, I'm leaving. I'm going. There's an offer from China, and then he said he's staying, and it looks like he's going to sign a new deal. What's all this bollocks about us being the chosen ones with the league? Have you seen the last few fixtures? Yeah, I mean, it's just faux fume, or what is that how you pronounce it? Faux, F-A-U-X? Faux fume, Claire. It's just people getting pissed off at Liverpool for the sake of getting pissed off at Liverpool. But we know why they're really pissed off about Liverpool, Claire. We know why they're making these accusations about us being favourites or the darlings of the Premier League. It's fear. And it's because we're relevant. And I love that. I love knowing that people are losing their minds because they're afraid of us. But they won't say that. They won't come out and say that that's why they're doing this. They'll just hide behind the fact that, oh, everything favours Liverpool, blah, 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 blah. Nah, you're scared. And that's why. Tell the truth. What else we got? Craig, what's your opinion on the US women's 13-0 win over Thailand? 13-0 win over Thailand. It's embarrassing. And it's nothing to do with the sex of it. It's to do with the result of it. If it was a 13-0 win in the men's World Cup, I'd be saying the same thing. It's nothing to do with it being a female thing. It's to do with it being the highest level of football, and you can still get a score like that. There's that much of a difference in levels at the world's biggest event. If you're an American fan, of course you're over the moon, and why wouldn't you be? Your team went and banged in 13 goals and won. Great. But if you're a Thai fan and you were so happy about your country going to the World Cup and they get their asses handed to them 13-0, it's not a great look, and it's not a great look for FIFA. And I think FIFA were in a little bit of trouble for, I think they were accused of faking the number of tickets that were actually sold for the event as well. I think I read something on that one. And I haven't watched much of the Women's World Cup, to be honest, the same way I haven't watched much of the international friendlies, because I'm just not really a fan of international football. Male, female, doesn't matter. I just don't really like international football that much. I'm much more of a club football person. Can I unblock an account called Liverpool Fan 11? Why? I need to know why, mate. I'm just not going to randomly unblock people. I can't even remember interacting with that account, to be fair. Thanks, I'm proud to know the people in the same community, mate. A lot of Reds. Yeah, look, as I said before, we're all messed up in our own unique ways. What is wrong with one person, or what offends one person, might not offend another. Yeah, we're just all trying to come together and have a bit of crack. Congratulations, Sabrina, well done, said Liz. Why is she in the chat? Oh, there she is. She is in the chat. Yes, as I said, my wife, you guys made her hit her 500 quid target. She passed it. She got 550 something euro for Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, which is amazing, and I'm so proud of her. And I'm so proud that you guys came out and supported her so much. So again, thank you for that. The link still is in the chat below, or in the stream notes below. If anybody does want to make a late donation, it's still open. Aidan Andrews said, how can the league be fixed if everybody's the same games? I know, mate. You play everybody twice. Again, shout out to the 12men.com, and a reminder that we're running that competition with the 12men.com where we're giving away 3 of their amazing singing scarves. I showed this last night on the show. If you haven't seen them, they're great. They make them in all club colours with different songs for each club. 12men.com. If you go over there and you want to buy a scarf, make sure you use the word Anfield Agenda or the code Anfield Agenda at checkout, because 1, you'll get a 10% discount, and they'll donate £1 to a mental health charity as well for everyone that's sold using the Anfield Agenda code. So yeah, if you want to have a look, go over there to 12men.com. Competition winners will be announced next Wednesday. To be in with a chance to win, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and that's 1. If you're on Instagram, make sure you follow at Anfield Agenda on Instagram, and the same, go over to Twitter and check out our pinned tweet on there, and we'll be giving one away on each platform next Wednesday. So again, massive love to the 12men.com, Paul and the guys over there. And they didn't have to do that thing for the mental health charity, by the way. That was just something that they did. We'd already came to an agreement with them to work together, and they seen the post that I did on mental health, that was up on YouTube or on Twitter, excuse me, and they thought it would be a nice touch. And what a classy bunch they are. I mean, yeah, it's been a privilege this year to work with the companies that we've worked with Score Draw, with 3 Retro, with the 12men.com. And we're starting to trying to help out the people at Shankly merchandise as well. Official ShanklyShop.com. They've launched there as well, and yeah, check out. I mean, you know about Shankly. I don't need to tell you who Shankly is. Well, the family have done amazing stuff trying to keep the family name alive and keep the memory of Bill Shankly alive, which of course it always will be. There's the Shankly Hotel. Now there's the official ShanklyShop.com as well, where you can buy Shankly merchandise. We've been interacting with them on Twitter. Lovely bunch of people. Cannot say enough good things about them. So again, check that out. And our friend as well, one more shout out. Sorry, last one. At Mo Salah Facts on Twitter as well. Another good Twitter account. A load of people saying congratulations to Sabrina, which is brilliant. Exactly, Craig. Certain words can be used. It depends on how they're used and who to and what circumstance, whether they're offensive. Yes, like if I was to use the word retard, Claire, at somebody who I know had a a mental health issue or was suffering with a mental illness or was incapacitated in some way, then I'd be an absolute dickhead and I would be open to ridicule and deserve it. But if I'm calling Connor a retard, it's because I think he's done something stupid and because I'm bantering with my mate. So yeah, I'm glad you said that because it is important, the context, of course, which you use anything. When's the first pre-season game for Liverpool? Oof, off the top of my head, mate, I don't know. We went through the pre-season fixtures the other night, but I don't have the list in front of me. Don't buy Lenovo, said Gonads. Mate, I've had issues with Lenovo, I'm not going to lie. My father-in-law, spoke about them before, had some trouble with Lenovo before, and they made it really a pain in the arse to get it resolved. Does Klopp deserve a statue from what he's achieved so far? A statue? No, I wouldn't say a statue. Do you know what? He'll get his face on the banner on the Kop, which is a good start because he needs to be there beside Rafael Benitez and the other legends of the club. Maybe down the road, let's see what he ends up with at the club before we start talking about statues and stuff. But no matter what, Jurgen Klopp is always going to go down in Liverpool folklore now because he's a European Cup winning manager, which is class. Absolutely class. Right, guys, 20 minutes left on tonight's stream and we are 41 subscribers away from 17k. So again, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. Right, what else have we got? Let me just check my notes to make sure I've not missed that. And fixtures done, that done. Yeah, I think I've gone through all of my notes now, so I'll just hand it over to you guys. If there's anything you want to talk about for the last 20 minutes, let me know. 11th is the first pre-season match. Thank you so much for everyone for letting me know that. Declan Rogers, last 2 exams tomorrow. Thanks for a bit of advice before they started. Declan, look, mate, it's been a pleasure actually getting to know you a little bit, buddy, over the since you won the competition. Actually, it's been nice interacting with you and getting to know you. And as I said, you're doing your leaving cert, but my own daughter's doing her junior cert, and she's not finished till Monday, but she's a day off tomorrow, mate. So I hope it goes well for your last 2 exams tomorrow, and then it's over, buddy. Enjoy your summer, and we'll see what the future holds. But I've no doubt from chatting with you, I've no doubt from chatting with you that you're a good lad and you're going to go far, mate. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with you and keep in touch, whatever happens. Anyway, normally agree with your opinion and find your content quality, said Sean Lawson. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, I will say stupid stuff, Sean, from time to time, mate. But I don't know if I missed your first comment, Sean. That seems like a follow-up comment, mate. So if I did, I apologise. I'm scrolling back as I speak to try and find one, but I don't know if there was one. But anyway, there it is. Where is it? Shit, I had it there for a sec. I did a poll with y'all and thought you were all bang on. Am I thinking of the same Sean Lawson, mate? Sorry, I'm a little bit confused because there's a few Sean Lawsons that I know. I'm not sure which one you were, mate. And I can't see your image because it's tiny on my screen. But yeah, let me know, Sean, which pod you did, mate, because out of interest, I'd like to know. But thank you, mate. Like your show, keep it up. Thank you very much. It's a Kapelski. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Kapelski gamer. Sorry, mate. I'm terrible at reading out names at times. In my opinion, words aren't offensive. The context is offensive, said Kieran. John Bell's a Motherwell fan as well. Always normally agree with your opinion and find your content quality. 11th, we've done that as well. Oh, okay, Sean. I think I know which Sean you are now, mate. Yes. Yeah. I think you probably know, Sean, to be fair, why I blocked a lot of people from a lot of things. But yes, I did do a podcast with you, Sean, yep, and you did seem like a very nice guy, if I'm being honest about it. I'd seen some stuff on... I'd seen some unflattering stuff on a thread as well, wrote about me. I think you were involved in that conversation on Reddit, if memory serves correct. But look, I take people as I find them, Sean, mate, and I wish you all the best. I don't really hold grudges, mate, but I'm glad. I hope you're doing well, mate. I hope life's treating you well. Obviously you must have enjoyed the Red season last season, and no ill will on my side, Sean, mate. I'm glad to see you win, and keep the comments coming, buddy. No hard feelings, Sean. As I said, mate, none whatsoever. I always just ask people to take me as they find me, Sean, honestly, and I've been a dickhead at times, mate. Absolutely, I have. But I just ask people to take me as they find me. And the couple of times, I remember I met you in the Aviva as well. At one time, you were with Phil, and I met you in there. And again, just a nice, polite lad. So whatever happens, mate, there's no hard feelings on my end whatsoever. And I wish you all the best, mate. And please, if I'd like to see it in the chat and keep the comments coming, mate, because from chatting with you, I know you love the Reds, and that's first and foremost, isn't it? What are the people saying about Lovren on Twitter that got you wound up? I'm absolutely sound with people that think Dejan Lovren isn't the greatest defender that ever played for Liverpool Football Club, and I'm absolutely sound about people that think Dejan Lovren fucked up because he did make mistakes. That game against Spurs was a shambles, but I just don't like people having sly little snide digs at him because he's leaving, and saying that he's shit and we need to cash in, and saying that there's better. He wouldn't get into City's team, he wouldn't get into Barca's team, he wouldn't get into this, that and the other. Well, he's our fourth choice centre back, and I would make an argument that, you know what, he probably would be a fourth choice centre back at Barca. He probably would be a fourth choice centre back at Manchester City, at Chelsea, at Arsenal, at least. So yeah, that's my argument, and that's why I'm annoyed at some people about Lovren. He made mistakes, but overall, I think he's been a good defender. He's been in 2 Champions League finals. I'll never forget that moment, as I'm sure all of you guys won't, where he leapt like a salmon to score against Borussia Dortmund and gave us one of the greatest memories we've had over the last 7 or 8 years. It was amazing, and I liked Eggsy. I like the attitude that he has. I like his bromance with Mo Salah, which is great as well. What's this? Craig, is it too soon to know who are playing at the Club World Cup? I think so, Paul, but again, mate, excuse my ignorance on that if I'm wrong. All the best to you as well, Sean, mate. Sincerely, I mean that. Thank you for coming in. What else have we got? YouTube glitch. It wasn't me, it went online. Yeah, it says video output low. Okay, bear with me. Yeah, we're back. Sorry, guys. There was a YouTube glitch there. Yes, there was. We're back online, though. Sorry. No, for once, there actually was. And I'm not sure if Sean watched this back, Sean, but I did say, mate, I don't know if it was cut off or not. No hard feelings at my end, buddy, and I wish you all the best. There's an article in the Metro. Manchester United star Romelu Lukaku agrees personal terms with Inter Milan. Yeah, it looks like he's off to Italy, by the looks of it, to be fair now. Soldier Boy, I love saying that name. Soldier Boy, you've been a hoe. Said, you're close to 70,000 subs. I tune in most evenings but don't usually comment. Fantastic group of Reds. Keep up the good work. Brilliant. I love, mate, people like yourself that don't usually comment but do pop in from time to time, just letting us know that they're there. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your kind words. We're getting close to 17k. Probably get there tomorrow, but yeah, I appreciate it, mate, and thank you for watching. Yes, no, it was, the internet was off there. It was my fault that time. It was at our end. It wasn't you guys. The stream was fucked up there for a minute. Right, a few more minutes to go, guys. Let's keep going. Great stream as ever. Thank you very much, Aziz. Did you know that last week we won our 6th European Cup? 6 European Cups, you mentioned, David. It's almost as if that's twice as many as Manchester United, or 6 more than Manchester City, 6 more than Arsenal, 6 more than Everton. Heck, do you know what? It's even more than Bayern Munich. It puts us 3rd in the all-time list, by the way, for those that don't know, behind AC Milan, who have 7, and Real Madrid, who have 13, although I would seriously question the first few of those. 20 better than 6. It is, Owen, but we've got to, as much as I'd like to have a banter back and forth here, Owen, the truth is that we're both locked on 42 trophies, mate. Both clubs on 42 trophies, so it's we're level as it is at the moment, Owen. Surely somebody from this channel managed to get you a ticket this year to see Liverpool. I hope so, John. But look, I'm not expecting anything from anybody on the channel with regards to helping us out with tickets, but I would like to get to a couple of games this season, but I'm not. I don't have any divine right to get tickets more than anybody else, mate. More European Cups than the rest of the Premier League combined, said Brian Morrissey. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Craig, do you know where River Chapel is? Of course, Anthony. My daughter went to primary school in River Chapel. How long has this channel been going? I'm new to this, my first time here tonight. Well, firstly, Ben, let me take a chance to say welcome, buddy. Thank you for coming in. Ben Washbrook. We're going what is it now? About 14 or 15 months, Ben. We've been technically alive longer than that, but we were only putting videos up about 14 or 15 months, mate. So this was our first full season. And yeah, it's doing pretty well. I'm really happy with how things are going. It's been great getting to meet new people, and I hope you enjoyed tonight, Ben, because it's always great to meet new Reds. Owen, mate, I know you're having a bit of banter here, and I appreciate it. Glory, glory, Man United and all that. 13 Premier League titles, Liverpool's nil. Great, mate, but Premier League titles don't mean jack shit. You've got more Football League titles than us as well. There's no arguing that. You've got 20, we've got 18. At the same time, though, mate, we do have 6 European Cups. 6 of them. 6. Do you know what I mean? Like 6. But I do appreciate the banter on. And look, whatever we say about each other's clubs, mate, they're the 2 biggest clubs in England, without a shadow of a doubt. You hate us, we hate you, but there's a begrudging respect there underneath it all. We need a player that can shoot from outside the box. Well, that would be Fernandes by the looks of it, mate, wouldn't it? Because he does love a long shot, Fernandes. Do you follow the Liverpool subreddit? No, I'm not on Reddit at all. Just somebody sent me some comments there before where people were tearing me a new one. And look, happens. But no, I'm not on Reddit, mate. I don't follow it. My pleasure, Ben. I always try and respond where I can, mate. And thank you for putting in your comment. Craig, would you rather have the Champions League or the Premier League? Hand on heart, Premier League. But the Champions League is the bigger trophy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say otherwise. The European Cup is the biggest prize in club football in Europe. But we need to win the Premier League because it's been 30 years since Liverpool won the top tier of English football. And we need to get that sorted because our club you get what you deserve, but we should be winning the league title. So I would happily win the Premier League this year, get that monkey off our back, and then win the European Cup over and over and over again, because the European Cup is the pinnacle. It's the pinnacle. It is what it is, like, but there's no denying that we need to win the Premier League. Did we win 6 Champions League Cups? We did, Kirby, mate. Yes, 6 of them. European royalty, as Brian said. Damn right. European royalty, I love it. We're tied with United on equal cups, but we've got a Charity Shield and a Super Cup and a World Club Cup to play as well. And it's important actually to point out again that Liverpool have never won the World Club Cup, and we'll get to wear that sexy ass badge as well, that golden badge, if we win it. Owen, you can say what you want, mate, but the football, like, this is what gets me, mate. I'm absolutely sound about United's history and Liverpool's history, mate, but you can't just pull out periods that suit you to make a conversation. Like you've said in the last 30 years, looking through it, right, great, but the football clubs weren't invented 30 years ago, mate, so it really doesn't matter about specific time periods. All that matters is the roll of honours, and we're both locked on 42 cups. That's an undebatable fact. Sabrina, your daughter went to Star of the Sea River Chapel Primary School. Yes, she did. Well, she didn't finish in Star of the Sea. We used to live in that area, so she was there for a while. Or did she finish in Star of the Sea? Actually, you know what she did? She finished up there. That's how little attention I pay. Yeah, she did. Sorry, it was Lucas that switched. United even are rivals. I would say United are absolutely our rivals, mate. United to me are much more of a rival than Manchester City will ever be. City is just a new little fad, but Liverpool, Everton and United, they have to be. For me, they're the 2 games I look out for every season when the fixtures are announced. City is just an inconvenience at the moment, to be fair. That's the way I look at Manchester City. Isn't it after you win 5 cups you get to keep it? They stopped that, Andrew. It used to be after you win 5 Champions League you get to keep the trophy, but now I think they just give out replicas, but you actually got to keep the trophy, and now it seems to just give out replicas. What was said about Fekir was gone. Yeah, no problem, mate. Let me just go back through it. So Liverpool, there's 2 train of thoughts on this, mate. Liverpool have revived their interest in Lyon star Nabil Fekir. The Reds have pulled out a £53 million deal for the France international last summer, and will not offer the same fee again, given that Fekir's only has 1 year left on his contract, and that comes out of Le Progrès, as Brian said, or a French magazine. And then there's another story in the Independent that said Liverpool have no interest in Nabil Fekir and won't be going back in for him. So obviously I'm in the camp that I hope we are, but you never know. What else have we got? Can we please block United fans from coming on here? No, mate, we can't, to be fair, because we've some really, really nice United fans and some actually got a couple of nice City fans, and of course Leicester City fan Boya that comes on here. And I know we're a Liverpool centric channel, but you've got to welcome in fans from every club as long as they're being respectful and not trolling. I mean, banter is banter. He's not calling anyone a dickhead or anything like that. So nah, we can't remove him because he doesn't deserve to be removed. We're football fans. And I'm actually a massive advocate of this as well. I've spoken about this before. Sometimes as football fans, we need to stop being so club-centric, because often we can see, let's just say United fans go over to Spain and we see their fans getting roughed up by the security or the police. We can go, oh, fucking United fans, typical. But you know what? Sometimes we're short-sighted. We need to look at this and realise that what happens to United fans could happen to Liverpool fans, could happen to Leicester City fans, could happen to Arsenal fans. And sometimes we need to stick together as fans. You need to keep that rivalry, but we're a fan group as well at the end of the day. So yeah, sometimes a little bit of inter-club, I won't say support, but respect is definitely something that we should be looking at. 41 years, 26 years plus 6 years. There's United's title droughts as a reminder, said Far Isle. Welcome in, Far Isle, by the way. I didn't see any more of your comments tonight. I might have missed them. The league is better when Liverpool and United are relevant, said Neil Gordon. Don't block United fans because it's funny laughing at them in the Emmerdale Cup, said LFC fan. This is an open forum. We're not just for Liverpool fans only. Exactly, Brian. We're for football fans first and foremost. Of course we're Liverpool bias. We are. There's no disguising that. We're always going to be, because we're a fucking Liverpool channel. Liverpool are rivals. Liverpool's rivals are Everton and Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal, and nothing but Manchester City. They're irrelevant. We respect Man United fans but hate Man United. Yes, that's pretty much it, Liz. Yeah, you got to respect anybody as an individual until they give you a reason not to. But we can banter the shit out of them for being United fans, and they can do the same to us, of course. No, that's my wife talking to somebody. United fans can see the third UEFA Champions League trophy at Melwood. Yeah, or not at Melwood. It's at Anfield, mate. Sorry, it's at Anfield till Sunday. I think it's going on Sunday. Stephen, I wouldn't, mate. Tomorrow, there's no point in being nervous about something you can't control, buddy. Whatever happens, happens. And please do let me know how you get on, though, and I'm sure it'll go well, mate. Sabrina is my wife, Ben, my wife of 12 years. We're together 19 years this year, and we have 2 beautiful children. I respect Liverpool more than City. We have a healthy rivalry. City mean nothing. It's either because they've bought their way to the top, or both clubs have been built on long-term success, not a sugar daddy. Exactly, Owen. Underneath it all, we're the 2 most successful clubs in England, mate, and there's always going to be a begrudging, even if we don't like to admit it at times, respect there. I'll tell you what, mate, if you want to see a picture of my wife, Infinite Topics, sorry Brian, I know you removed that. If you want to see a picture of her, then donate to her Everyday Fucking Hero page, mate, and you'll see a picture of her. If not, tough shit. How strong word for hating somebody support? Hate strong words for hating somebody supporting another team. I hate United fan, not hooligans, and don't sing offensive songs. Yeah, exactly. As long as anyone who sings songs about Munich is an asshole and a scumbag, and anybody vice versa that sings songs about Hillsborough is as much of a scumbag. There's no place for that. That's not a football matter. That should be a societal matter. It's just the wrong thing to do, and we should know better than that. Have you ever thought about doing a best of for the 18-19 season? Bet you've got some great content to do something like that. The problem, Andrew, mate, is the amount of work it would take to go back through all the content and pull out the little bits, mate. It will probably be 10 times more time consuming than it would be to make other content. So I'd love to. I'd love to go back and pull out what somebody said earlier on, the best troll rants that I went on, because they've been some of my favourite moments on here. But yeah, no, I don't have the time, mate, to do it. Neither does Connor. Good news. I'm trying to work on another podcast. I'm trying to get Cash tied into one, to see how Chris, Dave, and maybe Tom are doing. See if we can get the guys back together. Hope the kids have more hair than you. Yes, they do, mate. My little son's a redhead, actually. My daughter has a very long brown hair. Browny hair? Yeah, brown hair. Gotta respect, bro. Hopefully United and Liverpool title race. I don't think it will be on, if I'm being honest. I really think you guys... Respect, absolutely. But I think you guys have a bit of rebuilding to do. Right, guys. I'm going to do a couple more comments and I'm going to call it a night. Again, I just want to circle back around to the word retard earlier on. I used it. I stand over using it. But if it does offend anybody, I like to point people towards what other people in the chat have said. It's about the context the word's used in. For me. Dembele would be awesome, said Gary Jenkinson. What do you mean? Nah, I don't know I don't know who you're talking to there, Ben. Hopefully no title race for United for a long time. Farrell said beautiful, awesome kids, because we met Farrell and had the pleasure of spending time with them. Right, what else we got? Moreno was left, number 18 vacant. Hashtag FekirFriday. See, there we go, mate. It's a DSYNQS. Yes, mate. I'd love a bit of FekirFriday. I'm not gonna lie. You're not a troll. Oh no, you're clearly not a troll, mate. I've enjoyed a bit of banter with you tonight, pal. Hope to see you back in again. Last word, Odegaard. I hope our scouts have seen him. Somebody mentioned, was it you, Happy Legs, mentioned that earlier on? Yeah, he's I don't know why he went to Real Madrid, if I'm being blunt about this, mate. As a United fan, I know we don't stand a chance this year. However, I hope Liverpool destroys City. I respect what Liverpool have done. We'll be back, said Old Trafford Knight. You will be back, mate. Absolutely. And my good friend Farrell, who's in the chat there, said to me before that football is cyclical, and it's a good way of looking at it. United had a period of success that went on for a while. Liverpool had a period of success that went on for a while. And it will go around in circles. And sometimes clubs take their eye off the ball. A few mistakes pile up, and then before you know it, you're chasing. And that's the position United are currently in. But United have the financial acumen to get back. They just need to make the right moves, and that's going to take a few windows. And I've no doubt they'll be back. Absolutely, they'll be back. But I'm enjoying it right now as a Liverpool fan, as you'd expect, because it's a damn good time. And like you, I want to destroy City as well, because if we'd have lost the Champions League final to Spurs, it would have been a real kick in the nuts. But I would have held my hands up and said congratulations to Spurs, and I would have had nothing but respect for them for what they've done. Manchester City can win every damn competition under the sun, and I won't have a single ounce of respect for the way it's been done. None. I respect the players and the manager because they're just employees of the club. I've no issues with Manchester City fans other than the ones that are assholes on purpose. But I don't like it. I just don't like the way it's been built. And I've no respect from that point of view. And I think a lot of people are probably in the same boat. Right, ladies and gents. Arsenal fans losing their shirts with the schedule. It's kind of funny. There's always going to be people disappointed with everything. And everybody plays everybody twice. That's all we can keep saying on this one. Look, ladies and gents, I'm going to call that a night. I'm absolutely exhausted. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Again, if anybody was offended, I'm sorry, it's never the intention. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 9:30. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so, and if you can do, before you head off, if you can just hit that thumbs up button as well for me, that would be a massive help. Lots of love to all of you. I will chat to you all tomorrow. Hopefully we hit 17k in between now and the next time I speak to you, because I want to do my little 17k dance. But look, lots of love to all of you. I hope your families are well. To those of you finishing up your exams, enjoy yourselves, let your hair down, have some fun. I'm sure your parents are all proud of you as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Look, guys, take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Reds.